Have you ever driven a rental car before? Or over a period of years driven many different vehicles? If you have a life on the road and you're regularly renting cars, you'll understand what it's like to hop into a vehicle for the first time and try and figure out how to start it. It may be a petrol engine or an EV. Either way, the time it takes to understand where the ignition is, how to put the vehicle in gear, how to connect your Bluetooth phone, and how to get the GPS to work is all time spent not getting to your destination, which is the purpose of the rental car in the first case. If you take that rental car now and you look at it in terms of the way you conduct meetings, we're effectively doing exactly the same thing. Meetings without structure are like hopping into a new rental car, where the first 5 or 10 minutes of the meeting, we're too busy wondering what's going on, what button is where, what are we about to talk about, and therefore our ability to get to the destination is inhibited. In some cases, particularly if it's a real left field rental car, we might actually be frustrated and annoyed and actually have our performance reduce and a negative impact on the rest of the team. This is the importance of cognitive models inside organizations. If we look at the way we execute strategy, it's pretty simple if we think about it. There's what we want, where we're going, or what we would call an objective, and what we do, an action. Across an enterprise, they're really big objectives with thousands of actions. At a team level, they're smaller objectives with a few actions. And as an individual, I would say it's 1 or 2 objectives, no more than 3, and a few actions. But it's all the same, what we want and what we do. Conversations around that, though, tend to be very complex. If we walk into a board level or a C-suite, we're highly reporting focused. If we work within a software development team, we're very action focused. But the way in which we have these conversations is different. The structure is different, the content is different, and obviously the people in the room are different. Now imagine if we just had one rental car, the same rental car everyone used, where everyone knows exactly how to open the door, where to put the key, how to turn it on, how to connect their Bluetooth system. They're in the vehicle and they're driving within 30 seconds to a minute. Flawless execution provides that cognitive framework to allow you to invest more time in execution and less time trying to figure out what does this button do. The plan, brief, execute, debrief cycle is a microcosm for how we conduct every meeting, every planning session, and our execution day to day, week to week, month to month. And if you sit back and think about it, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? When we talk about planning, what we're really saying is, hey, let's all get together in a room, explore the challenges and opportunities here, apply some actions from lessons we've learned before, and understand implicitly what each one of us is going to do over the next week, and then go out and do it. Now, as we execute each day, there's going to be various factors that change. Obviously, as we complete work and certain members of the team get ahead or fall behind, we're going to need to adjust it, and that's okay. That's what briefing's for. Briefing is to look at our plan and put it in the context of today, to create situational awareness, to map the big picture, the story, to the actions. As we execute, which is something that we love to do as humans, we're very good at being busy, but often what we're busy doing isn't the right thing. We're in the era of busyness. The plan anchors us. It provides focus. It allows us to put our energy into the right thing rather than everything. It also gives us permission to say no or to step back when something that impacts what we do each day is misaligned with where we're going. And often we can put that over to someone else in the organization where it's their job. The ability to stay focused on that plan is fundamental to success. But finally, the most powerful element of it, where we bring together today, tomorrow, and yesterday, is this fighter pilot debrief. The plan sets us up for success in a debrief. The more clear it is, the more achievable, and our ability to measure how we're going sets us up for a very logical conversation where we can set the emotion aside and give ourselves the opportunity to participate in a nameless and rankless fashion, or radically transparent fashion, to talk about how we're going. So we kick off with our objective. We then ask ourselves, well, what's the result? What's actually going on in the real world now? And the gap between our objective and our results is what we would call at Afterburner our execution gap. And that's a much better word and a much better way of explaining where we are today, rather than say, hey, we're failing and we're falling behind. Hey, we just got a gap in our execution. So the third step is, let's close it. Let's find out what's causing that gap and do a deep dive until we find one action related to one person where we can pull a lever and something can happen. Now, if we do this as a peer group with the whole team, the great news is as we pull the levers, as we look at different actions and their impact on the rest of the team, we can resolve it then and there. But the most important part of the debrief is not analysing the things that maybe aren't going great. It's to come up with some action. Let's do something about it right now or first thing tomorrow morning. And it's the actions that drive us forward. So what we start to create is, instead of looking at trying to achieve a strategy over a quarterly period or a week or a couple of days, we're able to break the action time frame down into fragments of time. So for example, if we were to execute in a week, we can debrief on a daily basis. And that connects our plan to reality. So flawless execution is a cognitive model. It's the Corolla of rental cars, if you like. It's simple to use. Everyone knows where the button is. They understand implicitly what their roles and responsibilities are. And we can just focus on getting the job done.